Hello. Hi, people. How's everybody doing? Let me move this over here. Let me see who's here. We have Zero. Hello, Zero. Thank you for... Oh, you claimed first. Huh. Nice. You claimed first. We have Pommy here. We have Cat here. We have Plays over here on YouTube. What is going on, everybody? Everybody having a good day? Everybody doing good? I'm doing... no? Damn. You started streaming. Ay, ay, ay. My bad. My bad. Well, I was doing alright, doing okay, doing great. Today was not a bad day, not a bad day in the mines. But we gotta talk. And I know a lot of the offenders from Thursday aren't actually here. Hi, Esky. A lot of the offenders who are in Thursday's stream aren't here right now. But I'll make sure this is on the record, and if they ask about it, then they can watch this VOD. Yes, Zero, hi? What's up? What's going on? So... It's been a few days since that, so let me backtrack. And let me tell you a story. Alright? Yo, what's up, Plays? Let me tell you what happened, right? I'm upset that you aren't talking from your car mic. I'm home, Cat. How would I be able to talk from the car mic if I'm in my house? Stream from my car. I'd rather die. Beauty streams through wild. That's exactly what we're gonna get into. So, as you guys know, I went live with Lucy on Thursday, and we did a follow-up to the GD video / stream. Which will be turned into an actual video at some point. Won't be anytime soon, but it will be turned into an actual video. But the behavior in chat that day was absolutely vile, embarrassing, and unacceptable. I don't ever want to see that again. Alright? I don't have screenshots. I wish I did. But some of the stuff I saw there, specifically, I saw, like, stuff about, like, how to fuck femboys, mommy ASMR, shipping, overall being weird and nasty, being rude to Lucy, specifically, I saw as well, telling her to either skip levels, or, telling her to just beat the level already in, like, a rude and upsetting way. And it was overall extremely embarrassing, especially because this was my first, like, time playing GD again after the video blew up. So, you guys, the people that were in that stream and did that gave a really bad impression of what I'm seeing from now on with that. So for the record, I'm very happy that the actual game and our synergy went so well, but I am extremely disappointed in chat, and I want to put this out there that from now on I'm going to put more effort into stricter moderation, and because this is unacceptable. You guys need to calm down. Seriously. That was disgusting. That was embarrassing. If that was someone who collabed with me for the first ever time, they would probably never want to collab with me ever again. You guys truly embarrassed me that day. And obviously, this doesn't go for everybody, okay? This is targeting specifically the people who were being weird in chat. So if they know who they are, if you know you didn't do anything, then this does not apply to you. You can keep living your life the way. But I'm not mad at you. But genuinely, I just can't believe that played out that way. And if it's one thing if it's contained in my chat and it's just my side being weird. It's another thing when it's, bleeding into other people's chats. Because that is a representative of my community, and that's not what I want my community to be, in the slightest. So, you guys need to calm yourselves. You guys need to, if this is how you guys are gonna act when I play GD on stream, then I'm never playing GD on stream ever again. Like, 100%. I'm just gonna cut that out, and I'll do everything. All my GD stuff will be off stream. Like, if this is how you guys are gonna act about that. But if it's not, if you guys can behave yourselves, and we can have normal, normal stuff, then great. Well, we'll keep the GD streams coming. I have plans for other stuff. I'm not done with GD. Even though I don't play it all the time on the channel, I do still like the game. So, I want to make it a point that we can't be dealing with this. This is not what I want to deal with. So if you guys don't like, if you're not a fan of that, if you think that kind of humor and that kind of behavior is acceptable, respectfully, get the hell out of my streams, because I'm not dealing with that. I want a community that is both respectful and, and fun. Like, that's the kind of community I want. I don't want a community that will be rude to collab mates, that will be weird in chat, and especially to other creators. So, no more of that. No more of that. We're done. You guys broke my trust, and now I need to put my foot down. So when I have a collab coming up, right? I have a collab coming up on Friday. If you guys do this bullshit again, I'm just gonna start banning people. 100%, without a doubt. So we're gonna be nice from now on. Okay? We're gonna be nice. We're gonna be respectful to others alongside myself. We're not gonna be weird. And we're gonna have nice, good streams coming up. Okay? Especially if they have to do with Geometry Dash. Okay? I don't know where you guys came from to think that that's okay, but enough. And I'll put a little recap as a YouTube post for those that weren't able to attend this stream. I'll make another post about it, and it'll be the last time I talk about this. Alright? So, this is the last, other than the YouTube post that I'll make after the stream to TLDR it. Right? This is the last time I'll talk about this. It's the only time I want to talk about this. I don't want to have to come on here again and talk about, you know, oh, my community sucks. You know, I don't want to do that, because I want you guys to be good. So, yeah, let's be a good community from now on, okay? Let's all grow together, and let's all respect each other, and let's all be normal. Please. If someone wants to, you know, if even better, I'll probably just, like, clip this part and I'll post it somewhere. So, but yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. We need to be better. Okay? So, who else came through? I mean, well, SKW putting your foot down. Yes, exactly. Koimhin just plays. I think I said that right. I don't think I did. I'm sorry. Jane Doe. Yes, technically. Yeah. So next time, if next time Lucy streams, if you guys are there, and if anybody who's listening that actually, you know, did that stuff, I need you guys to apologize. So, I've already said my piece, so we're done. So let's move on to the reading. I really had to address this because I've been thinking about it pretty much all week. I've been pretty much thinking about it ever since it happened. And I had to put it to bed. I had to say something. I had to put something on the record. Because that is absolutely horrendous. W Spork, thank you. So we'll move on to Witch on the Holy Night. Now. Also, Eski, thank you for clocking in. Alright, let's do a little segue. into Witch on the Holy Night. All right. So, I'm just going to explain this every single time when we get in every week. If you don't know what Witch on the Holy Night is, it is a visual novel. I do this every Sunday. This is mainly to try to actually make progress. Oh, hi, Metal. Yes, I would like to clip Witch on the Holy Night of all things. Guess Bionicle Heroes, this. I do this every single week. This is more of a chillax stream. It's mostly to combat the chaos throughout the week. And they aren't particularly long either. So, I don't know how invested I'll get today. I do know that, Chapter 5 is the longest chapter, so we'll be, in Chapter 5 for a while, for these next few weeks. If you don't know what a visual novel is, it is basically words on a screen and I read them. Some of them have decisions, this one does not. So I am pretty much just reading to you. So if you want to have this in the background, or if you just want to have this kind of, if you want to watch it, you can watch it. If you just want to have it in the background as you're doing something else, that is also completely viable. This is very much second monitor content. MAHOYO streams are always short. Yes, so they're always shorter streams. Usually my streams can run anywhere from around like 3 to 5 hours. MAHOYO streams are usually always around an hour and a half, 2 hours. So they're always a bit shorter. So, we're gonna get right into it. We got Night of the Witches 1. This is chapter 5. Aha. Sojo returned to his apartment on foot as per routine, under a blanket of clouds in the night sky. The rusty stairs of his apartment building clanged with each step. Out of the corner of his eye, he could see the bicycles parked by the apartment building's outer wall. He debated the pros and cons of a bicycle, how much easier life would be versus the expense, the convenience versus the necessity. But in the end, he decided one was not right for him just now. Also, I will, because I suck at reading, I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes. Clutching the bag of apples under his arm, he took out the keys to his residence. A bike sure would be convenient, but it's not like... He tilted his head in confusion. More and more he found himself preoccupied with such random thoughts, when the real issue at hand was deciding what to do with the apples he had received. He placed the paper bag by the sink and switched on the lights. It was just after 10 in the evening. At the end of term exams just around the corner, he had come home an hour earlier than usual. As he made back for the kitchen to pick one of the apples to snack on, he found an envelope stuffed in his mail slot. The envelope had no name, return address, or stamp. Inside was a single piece of paper that had only the sender's name and a short message. It read,
話があるので、今夜どこそこのここに来られたし、大事なようなので、来るまでずっと待っている。言うまでもなく、他言無用。
There's something we need to talk about tonight. It's important, so I'll be waiting. Needless to say, keep this a secret. A concise set of orders neatly written. It was signed Aoko Aozaki. She had been considerate enough to enclose a detailed map of the meeting place. Puzzled, he cocked his head to the side, then headed out the door. Afterward, upon the room's sole tenant leaving the premises, the envelope burst into flames and evaporated without a trace, as though it had never existed in the first place. Oh, Shibar. By the late 80s, Japan's post-war economic boom had somewhat stabilized, and the city experienced a period of steady growth. The city's modernization marched on, and the Japan Railways train station, a symbol of the new era, neared completion. In Misaki's neighboring town of Yashirogi, a new symbol of its own was about to be born. Yashirogi bred in Kitsuland. It was Misaki's worst investment. Years later, it would be dubbed the fool's gold of the economic bubble, a relic of a bygone age.
この町には夢とか遮奪さが足りない。
This city lacks aspiration and sophistication. 10 years ago, Yashirogi's renowned Tokitsu making company ran factories all across the nation. Its proprietor... Proprietor? Hold on. Hold the flippin' phone. Hold the freaking phone. What the fuck does that mean? I said that right the first time. I just second-guessed myself. Proprietor was a middle-aged man, then aged 56, by the name of Yorihiko Tokitsu, known affectionately by most as Topan. Or Tapan. He took it upon himself to begin development on an estate on the outskirts of Yashirogi, and broke ground on a recreational wonderland that he hoped to be the pride of Misaki City. The long-awaited opening came in 1981. After 3 years of investment, this local amusement park, full of all kinds of hopes and dreams, began its short-lived tenure. Covered more than 85 square acres. Its magnificent merry-go-round dazzled all who passed through the park's gates. Its roller coaster twisted and turned about the edges of the park like a writhing Japanese dragon. Its Ferris wheel, packed beyond necessity with gimmicks, was said to have tested the limits of modern engineering.
完璧だ。遊園地に必要なものは全て積み込んだ。
It's perfect, infused with everything an amusement park could ever need. Old Yorihiko looked up at his creation and smiled. Only boosting his confidence was the fact that its grand opening was staged during a period of prosperity, the springtime of the world. Hi, Inu! Thank you for clocking in. But, in spite of this, they splendidly miscalculated the balance between aspirations and sophistication. Its mascot, Kitsy, was poorly designed and appeared like a cheap knockoff. The park was stuffed to the brim with bread stands. Even its impossible to navigate mirror maze seemed out of date from the start. There are no dreams to be had in Kitsyland, only nightmarish satire. Numerous trade magazines lambasted Kitsyland's shortcomings, and customer attendance declined. There was even an incident where a 6-year-old strayed from his mother, had an accident, and nearly died. 1986, 5 years after the park opened, the situation had grown from bad to worse, and the park was hemorrhaging. Is it hemorrhaging? I think it's hemorrhaging money. On top of everything, Yorihiko, who had bet everything on the success of mascot Kitsy, retired, and Kitsyland's operations were officially in trouble. And thus, amidst the scorn of nearly all residents of the area, ended Misaki City's one and only amusement park. What's more, perhaps best described as a footnote in this debacle, the self-proclaimed What? Am I, like, hashtag stupid? Parisian. The self-proclaimed Parisian artist who designed the mascot, Toki Julich, was said to have snapped his brush in mourning over the closure of the park. Returning to the present, oh, Shibar. Why do we need help? Oh, that was, like, y'all need y'all need, like, therapy, bro. Y'all need mental help. It was midnight in the Kitsy land of today. I was like, oh, fuck. Hold up. Excuse me. Oh, shit. Shibar. Hi, Yuka. Also, hi, random. Okay, there we go. Let me... this went by too fast because I was reading chat. It was midnight, and the Kitsy land of today was a shadow of its former glory. Like a doll abandoned in the corner of a toy box, the lonely park was illuminated only by the light of the town that continued to live around it. So that's what happened. Sojiro closed the Yashirogi guidebook that he had picked up on the way here. The story of its history was almost difficult to believe, but he supposed this was what the people referred to as entropy. I'm gonna be downloading Barochama, so it might be slow to say stuffs. That's okay. This is a reading stream, so you can just have it in the background. You don't have to be talking all the time. Let me read to you. I am tired though. Fairs. Hashtag fairs. The park's front gate was unlocked. When he worked here the previous time, the iron fence was locked shut with a rusty chain. The chain was nowhere to be seen. The gate left ajar. Following the map drawn in the letter, Sojiro quickly made his way inside. Sounded urgent, but to meet this late at night? What in the world could she want? Sojiro complained, quite out of character for him. It's probably because in spite of his naivety, even he knew that something was amiss. Though the park was abandoned, this was still trespassing. Unlawful entry, larceny, burglary. These were certainly not things, or perhaps crimes, that Sojiro was proud to do. But what, Sojiro? But what? Sorry. Can't pay you any money. I'm really sorry for coming in for free. Money, apparently, was why his conscience was gnawing at him. He clapped his hands in apology towards the statue of Kitsy, on whose eyes the paint had begun to aptly dissolve. I don't know what that means. I think it means, like, you know, very... Like a lot. Like, it's already... Maybe like a... I don't know. Holy shizer, I forgot to turn off the chat, so it's, like, in the way. Sorry, guys, you can't see yourself on chat right now. Sojiro passed the mascot bleeding red paint from its eye sockets and began to walk the night park. He killed me. Is this the witch in the Yoru? Yes, this is witch on the Yoru. Or rather, with the Japanese name. Huh. Maho Tsukai no Yoru. Huh. I want to read it, so I'll be lurking. I love VNs. Only one I've read is Fate, though. Yeah, this is my first VN. Have a flower? Thank you. Hydrate? No, I just did, but I'll do it again. I probably should be drinking more water anyways, so... Oh shit, did I die? Hello? Oh, there we go. I hope the movie comes out eventually. Fair. I'm gonna go take a nap, but you shall stay on my PC. Pommy, it's 8 PM. What do you mean you're gonna go take a nap? Stretch, thank you, I will. Okay. Alright. There we go. Also, what do you mean you're gonna take a nap? It's 11 PM. Twin, you're gonna play... you're gonna do it. I said 11. It's 11. I didn't say 8. Is it 8 PM? It's not 8 PM. It's 11. That's called going to sleep. That's like hashtag called going to sleep, bro. It's 11. Okay, then... Alright. Then, when I'm done streaming, I better see you... I better see you in the call when I'm done. How about that, huh? Mrs., I'm gonna take a nap. I'm crying, bro. I'm actually crying. What if I'm up but not in call? Then, I'm gonna blow you up. JK. / J. In Minecraft. Anyways. You just threatened me? In Minecraft, though. Hashtag in Minecraft. Hashtag /J. Hashtag JK. Hashtag Lamau. Hashtag. He's lying. You're right. I'm never wrong. I'm always right. I mean, I'm right or I'm lying. Hashtag read the game. I'm trying to sleep. Okay. The building's colors had faded. Oh shit, I'm not tapped in. The building's colors had faded. The collection of machines was rusted. The man-made residents no longer felt the passage of time. Even the ghosts themselves could not endure the disparity between this forsaken place and its previous grand stature. And by stealing all of his cookies. You're so mean. Don't steal my cookies. That's mean as fuck. It was like a fossilized dream. These were the ruins of a paradise both created and abandoned by man and reality. Realizing the Barotrauma soundtrack is larger than the game itself. $20 game with a... $30 soundtrack with a game attached. The economy had stabilized, and the standard of living was on the rise. Nobody was overly concerned with the future. These were the remains of a wild and exciting era. Oi. Hello, Yellow Cake. his breath turning to white wisps before him. Sojiro continued through the abandoned amusement park. Mouse? Oh, you're Japanese. Oh, does that appear? Oh, it does. It's like auto-translating it for me. Oh, I don't speak Japanese, but I'm glad you're here. Let me, shit. Hang on. I can't. I'm just gonna put this... there. It's probably bad translation. I did my best. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Alright. Though void of human presence was not nearly as frightening as the darkness deep in the mountain. City suburbs can take many different forms, but Kitsyland was unusual for an amusement park insomuch. What the fuck does that mean? What is... Yeah, so like what? I don't know. What does insomuch mean? Insomuch meaning to such an extent or degree. Okay, so in that sentence, but Kitsyland was unusual for an amusement park insomuch as it had been built adjacent to a residential district. Okay, we're learning new things every day. I don't speak Japanese. Okay, well how the hell was I supposed to know that? You come in here talking, saying stuff in Japanese, and then what? Am I just I take it at face value? My bad, bro. Hashtag, how was I supposed to know? The park was surrounded by a forest, but even that ultimately was man-made. It was no different than the curtains on the classroom window. If he were to scale the iron fence encircling Kitsyland and break through the 20 yards of aforesaid trees, and make it back to the familiar townscape. Though the amusement park tended to arouse dread, that's a very strange way of putting that. To arouse dread in the city folk, to Sojiro, it was little different from the commotion and the terror of downtown. I guess that's it. The central plaza was as silent as a grave. According to the map, the meeting spot was west of here. Waiting for Sojiro at his destination was a rugged, imposing, magnificent castle, towering before the backdrop of a cloudy night sky. Even for an abandoned park, it was a remarkable structure. If the roller coasters and the Ferris wheel were loud and tense attractions, this was comparatively quiet and easygoing. It was one of Kitsyland's 3 iconic structures, and, in a way, the Wicked Fortress had guided this paradise down the path of closure. Generally speaking, amusement park mazes generally fell into one of 2 categories. Labyrinths, which disorient visitors with their sheer size, and mirror mazes, which disorient visitors with optical illusions. Many of these labyrinth's guests enjoyed the brief sense of adventure that it offered. Over the years, however, it would be usurped by the ever-increasing thrills of new attractions, such was the way of all trends, the curse of fads. The new must give way to the newer. On the other hand, the House of Mirrors was a time-honored, beloved staple. Even within the confines of a classroom's dimensions, well-placed mirrors and well-directed light could both perplex and delight its visitors. And figuring in the cost of maintenance, a well-designed House of Mirrors could far outlive its labyrinth brethren. Even if both types faded into obscurity, they would remain a staple of what constituted an amusement park. However, that didn't mean that combining them would produce double the fun. Together, they transformed from entertainment into an uncanny realm from which those who dared to step within could never leave. In a similar sense, Kitsy's Mystery Tour Castle was the park's very own otherworld. Indeed, 5% of visitors ended up requesting staff assistance to get out. Modeled after European castles, it was greater than a football field in length, and the interior was further split into 3 floors. 2 floors above ground and 1 below, lined with mirrors from top to bottom, equal parts complex and vast. The maze demanded at least 30 minutes, even from veterans. One visit was all it took to be struck by catastrophophobia for hours. It was this labyrinth that now stood in Sojiro's way.
真っ暗ってわけじゃないな。電気とかついてるんだろうか。
Hold up a second. Holy shibar. Hold up. Okay, wait. Okay, hold on. Wait. Chat. I think he's gonna do it. Oh shit. Oh. I just tabbed into a stream. Hold on. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh. Oh fucking no way.
Oh
Nah.
my god, dude.
Damn. Okay. Oh fuck.
That's unfortunate, bro.
Damn. I'll keep an eye on this.
That is so
Okay?
close.
We're gonna keep an eye on this throughout the rest of the stream. 81 though. 81. No. I tabbed in while I was looking up something. Also got 22 on whatever other. W. Alright, I'm gonna keep this on. I'm gonna keep an eye on this. Okay, guys, so we're gonna keep an eye on this. In the meantime. Because any day now. Any day now. It looks like it's not entirely pitch black. You guys can hear the game again, right? You don't hear... I don't think... Yeah, because it's moving. Okay. Looks like it's not entirely pitch black. I guess somebody turned the lights on. It seemed that Sojiro, unaware of what a House of Mirrors even was, concerned himself only with its lighting. He checked the letter from Aoko once more. The letter read, "I'll be waiting in the first floor lobby on the House of Mirrors." That meeting place was definitely in here. There was something to see by, at least. There was something to see by, at least. As he could just make out light faintly through the open doors. Putting aside his suspicions, he headed inside toward the entrance. You know what I'll do real quick? Hold on. Not that. Hold on. Let me just check this real quick, just to make sure it works. Okay, it's not. There we go. It is working. So what I'll do... is we'll switch to that if he gets far. And I'll just keep an eye on it. The sound of his steps against the brick-laid path echoed faintly. He was far from the hustle and bustle of the city. The park's clocks no longer made tick nor talk. Tick-tock. And the winter's bite no longer blew in the night. Bars. From within the silence, the stillness that would cause any onlooker to hold their breath. Hello? Sojiro stopped abruptly at the entrance of the House of Mirrors.
ところで青崎、そんなところで何してるんだ?
By the way, why are you over there, Ozaki? He called out, turning back toward the plaza. A sound rang out as if someone had dove behind a garbage can and fell to the ground in their haste. A short silence ensued. For a moment, the abandoned park returned to its previous hush. Resigned to having been exposed, the girl appeared from her hiding place.
Oh,
Oh, his voice died in his throat as he took in the sight of the girl's familiar face in an unfamiliar attire. This Aoko, with her long hair flowing in the breeze, was different from the Aoko that Sojiro knew. The resolute stance and posture she took exuded the strength of her will. She stared directly at him with a sharp-eyed, piercing gaze. Her eyes were glowing with a dim, phosphoric light, enough to give Sojiro pause that he might be hallucinating. Is this a visual novel? Yes. In icy coldness and a girl's strength, Sojiro lacked a sense of danger. The sense of imbalance caused even him to feel the malice in the air. It was as though the Yukiana spirit of folklore had climbed out from a ghost story and appeared here in reality.
Aozaki.
Aozaki? Instinctively, Sojiro took a step back. Surprised, he was starting to feel concerned. An unpleasant premonition rose to the surface, bringing with it a sense of anxiety. In spite of this, he felt obligated to honor urban etiquette by seeing if she was alright.
その顔を見るに何かあったのかと一応聞いておくんだけど。
Did something happen to you? From the looks of it, Without acknowledging him, Aoko took a step forward. Her figure, this atmosphere. Sojiro found himself recalling a recent memory. His twisted and knotted apprehension melted away and was replaced by a growing realization. The girl before him was very similar to someone he had seen before, that night in the park, only he had seen her from behind. With increasing uncertainty causing him to swallow nervously, he noted that they might as well have been identical.
何をしていたかって話なら見ての通りよ。
You asked me what I was doing. Well, it's exactly what it looks like.
ここで獲物が通り過ぎるのを待ってたの。あなたが入ってから私も入って逃げ道をなくすつもりだったから。
I was waiting for my prey to pass by. Once you went inside, I was going to follow and cut off your only route of escape. Aoko said, perturbed by the swift change of plans.
そうか。待ち合わせ場所は合ってたんだな。
Phew. So I came to the right place. Sojiro was mighty relieved. He had not got the wrong place. It was unclear whether he felt confident about dealing with what was to come, or if he had simply failed to grasp the hopelessness of the situation. Aoko ignored his obtuse response and continued. Okay, hold up, he's getting far. Hold up. Hold on. Hold. Ah, 63. Unlucky. Okay. Back to it. Ad break is starting soon. If you do not have Twitch, if you're not subscribed to the channel, you will get ads. If you do not want ads, consider subscribing to the channel. I hope that Doggy does not verify grief while I am live in ads. I hope, well, actually, I do hope that he does it while live, but I also hope that he, what is it? I hope that he doesn't do it while it's in ads. I would like to get a cool reaction. Anyways. Would Loki be tough? True.
私はね、しずきくん。
You know, Suzuki.
嫌いな人とか、憎い人とかは人並みにいるんだ。
Just like anyone else, some people get on my nerves, and some people I just really hate.
ただ、ちょっと変なのが敵になるやつの条件でね。
But the funny thing is, my enemies are never people on my shit list. Cold emotion burned in her eyes. Her feet had already moved one step closer to Sojiro. Sojiro's sense of foreboding was growing stronger. Wondering if what he sensed was bloodlust, he retreated another step. Continuing as so, they maintained a distance of just 15 feet.
昔から、私は嫌いな相手でも敵と思ったことはなかったの。
As far as I can recall, I never thought of someone I didn't like as an enemy.
でも逆に、好きな相手を敵だと思うこともあった。
As it happens, I've even had enemies that I'd liked. Okay, hold up. It's getting far again. Is this gonna be another griefer? Hold on. Okay, wait. Wait. Ah!
Dude, I'm so bad, bro.
Unlucky, 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 unlucky. There we go.
理由は単純。
And the reason is simple. Dude, I'm so bad, bro. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he's on. He's doing from 62 right now. Oh shit, she's gonna fucking kill him. Oh my god, she's gonna kill him. She's gonna kill him. She held her right arm out. The light was about her was no illusion.
当たり前のことだけど、
It's simple, really.
私の感情を乱すやつが敵なのよ。
Anyone who throws me out of whack is my enemy. Her arm moved again. Oh, Scheiße. It was instantaneous. Damn! Something shot past Sojiro in a blink of an eye, missing him by just a foot to his left. Absolutely obliterated. Yeah, he's fucking dead, bro. Oh, well, they shot past him. Wait. Before his eyes, a blue light, something akin to a fireball, had ignited from nothing. He finally understood what was happening. Wait a second, I've seen one of those before. She ignored his dim-witted reaction. Damn it, I missed. Aoko muttered to herself. The fist-sized hole the blue light had made in the House of Mirrors crackled and smoldered. A shot like that could easily cave in a human skull in addition to burning it to a crisp.
こんな射程で外すなんて、アリスに見られたら自殺者ね。
I'd have to kill myself if Alice saw me miss at this range.
でも、これで分かったでしょ？二度目だものね。あなたにとっては。
You get it now, right? This is it for you. There won't be a second chance. Sojiro backed away swiftly. Things were beyond comprehensible. He was close to losing the ability to think at all. All he could make out was the figure of a dependable student council president. Or at least what he had thought was the president. And the memories of the park that night 2 days ago. He had never experienced anything like this. Though most people living in a civilized country would have never seen anything like it either. A lethal weapon that could kill with nothing more than the pull of a finger had a way of suspending the ability of its target to determine between not just good and evil, but dreams and reality, past and future. Best chapter? Honestly, so far, might be. Holy. And the more peaceful someone's life had been, the stronger that suspension was likely to be. Hold up. I'll do it tomorrow. Not tomorrow. I'll do it another day. All that one could think about was the fact that they were alive at that very moment. It was as if he was an unwritten character on a blank piece of white paper. There was no before, there was no after, there was only what came next. This was a very common thought process for anyone staring down the barrel of a gun. Oh, don't bother begging. It's pointless. But feel free to air your grievances. It's a killer's duty to listen to her victim's last words. By saying it was pointless, she made it sound more like she would not listen to what he had to say. However, Sojiro was in such a state of shock that it did not even matter, or it didn't even enter his mind to speak up. All he knew, for reasons unknown, was that the girl in front of him wanted him dead. You could have told me, Tobimaru. You said that no such thing exists. Well, how about it now, idiot? There's a monster right in front of me. Sojiro felt that if he had said that aloud, the second blast would come even quicker than the last, so he kept it to himself. His mental expletives stirred his mind from paralysis to mere panic. What is this about? Well, I mean, now we're kind of getting to, like, where it's actually, the story is actually, like, really starting. But basic TLDR is, this girl called Aoko lives in a mansion, with her, her roommate, Alice, and they practice magic. All of a sudden, this kid, Sojiro, transfers to Misaki High from the village in the mountains, and he found out that Aoko can use magic when he saw her practicing one day. Because they have to keep their magic secret, he now has to die, and that is where we are. This response came not from confidence, however. Someday, out of the blue, someone is gonna kill me. While it may have seemed like it was like a baseless belief to hold. Oh, but now that I think about it, murders happen all the time in cities. I should have remembered. If you break the rules, you get killed. I knew that already. To Sojiro, the situation seemed to perfectly align with his inexperienced understanding that the city was a coldly pragmatic place. As far as he was concerned at this moment, being killed by a classmate was not something to be so surprised by. In a society where murder was possible, he was able to accept this sort of situation as natural. Of virtually no concern what was the series of events that led to Aoko's aggression towards him. The only thing that truly confused him was Aoko's blue fireball. Sojiro swallowed with an audible gulp. To anyone who may have been watching, it was the response of a victim paralyzed by fear. Oh, I have a ping? Why'd you randomly go quiet? I was responding to something. Oh, I'll speak in different languages. You know YouTube automatically translates all of that, right? It doesn't matter what language you speak in. I can see it in perfect English. Anyways. Okay, he got a 52. He got a 52 run. Alright. I'm still...
そういうことよ。ようやく理解してくれたわね。
That's right. So you do finally get it.
多くは語らないけど、あなたにはここで死んでもらう。
I'm all out of words, so I think it's time you died.
魔術は隠匿するもの。なんて言っても、そっちには関係のないことだし。単に運がなかったって思えばいいわ。大事なのは、私があなたを殺したってことだけだから。
I could go on about how magecraft has to stay hidden, but that doesn't really have anything to do with you. All you need to know is that you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that was me who killed you, and that it was me who killed you. Oh shit. Done talking, Aoko once again lifted her right arm. There was a hum like a machine. Blue light began to revolve around her arm beneath her sleeve. This was taking longer than last time, leading Sojiro to believe that it was going to be much stronger than the attack that was still scorching the wall behind him. The realization caused his panic to heighten.
いやなんだつまり始末するとかしないとかあの夜のお化けは青崎だったとか都会は本当に込み入ってるとかそういうことじゃなくて
No, wait. It's not about me having to die, or the fact that the monster that night was actually Aozaki, or even whether she's part of the church. It's not about any of that. His thoughts became jumbled. His heart pounded like a hammer. There was no time to be standing still. He was not sure if the girl in front of him was really human, and more importantly, even if he could accept the events unfolding before him when all was said and done.
待て人殺しはいけないんだぞ
Like, that's gonna stop her, brother. Like, that's gonna even stop her. I'm so dead, bro. I'm actually so dead. Wait, it's wrong to kill people. Even if it was a fact of life in the city, Sojiro was not about to lie down and die. Don't you think I know that? Wait! Sojiro's scream, still entirely oblivious, was just a thing to invoke Aoko's full wrath. Ah! Aoko fired a barrage of magical blue bullets. In an instant, Sojiro dashed into the shadows behind him, to the entrance of the House of Mirrors. WW nice work, thank you. What the heck was that? He darted feverishly down the hall. After a mere few feet, he was left completely out of breath. This was due to his shock at seeing yet another attack, fiercer than the first, that he'd never seen in his life. And because he couldn't shake the thought that he had moved even a second later. If he had moved even a second later, he would be dead. He could not afford to stop. The sound of merciless footsteps closed in behind him. I bought myself some time. Maybe here I'll be able to figure out something. He threw everything into his legs as he sprinted. A straight, narrow passage about 60 feet long connected the entrance to the main lobby. At this rate, if he could just make it to the lobby, he was sure he would be able to find as many hiding spots as he needed. Thank God. He arrived in a large open space. This was the first floor lobby. There were 3 passageways. One led to the basement floor, one connected to the first floor maze. The other was a set of stairs leading to the second floor. Sojiro did not particularly care which one he chose. So trusting his intuition, he made a run for the first floor maze when... Uh-oh. He smacked his head into the transparent wall. Oof. A mirror? That's right. It's annoying, but I guess this makes things fair. The chaser and the chased are on equal ground. A somehow cheerful voice echoed in his direction. There was no need for Sojiro to even turn around. In the very same mirror he had crashed into, we could see Aozaki's figure slowly approaching.
物理的に。
You should know, I sealed off the first floor exit deeper inside. Physically, not with a bounded field.
やりすぎて封鎖っていうより瓦礫？土砂崩れ？どっちでもいっか。とにかく下手に出口に近づくと崩落に巻き込まれるから。生き埋めが嫌なら近寄らないことね。
Is calling it a seal going too far? Maybe plugged or buried works. Either way, if you get too close, you'll be swallowed by a cave-in. I recommend keeping your distance if you don't want to be buried alive. Goop Corner's so alive right now? Yeah, I know. I saw. Panicked by the impeding footsteps, Sojiro groped for the wall. You could see the stairs up to the second floor. He did not understand what Aoko had meant earlier. Yet at least knew that the first floor was not going to save him.
ま、私としてはそっちのが助かるけど。
It would save me a lot of trouble if you just died that way, though. Holy shit, he's getting far. Wait a minute, he's getting far, he's getting far, he's getting far. Oh shit, oh shit. Oh! Wait, 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 wait! Go, 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 go! Come on! Ah! 81.
Dude.
Unfucking lucky, bro. Unlucky. Unlucky. That's 2 81s in one day, though. That's not even that bad. That's really good. Young lion. The cleanup is much easier for accidental deaths. Behind him was a creature beyond words. As she continued her idle taunting, she lifted her right arm. What the fuck is that word? Ostentatiously. Why is Goop Corner playing Wordle? I don't know. Don't ask me. I've got no idea why they're playing Wordle. Even from above her clothes, one could see some kind of strange, incongruous pattern upon her body. The veins beneath her skin. They made it seem as though something inhuman was circulating her body. Whether out of pity or repulsion, Sojiro stopped for just a moment. His pursuer evaded his gaze.
ああ、これ？普段は塗り薬で隠しているんだけど、今日は特別。
You've noticed, then. I know I normally hide it with ointment, but today is special.
魔術刻印って言ってね。魔術師の証みたいなものよ。
It's called the magical crest. It's proof that I'm a mage.
ほら、光が回ってるでしょ？これがさっきのスナップ。わかりやすく言うと弾丸の元。
See this light revolving around me, right? It's the beginning of what formed that snap. Those bullets.
今日は調子いいし、私、魔力を効率よく使うのだけは自信あるし。うん、あと30回ぐらいかな。さっきみたいな装着ができるのは。
I'm feeling pretty good today, and I've never felt more confident in how to use my magical energy efficiently. I think I'm good for another 30 bullets or so. Perhaps she was on an emotional high for her voice had become frightfully friendly. The substance of the conversation could not have been any more unsettling, however.
そもそも何を言っているかよくわからないんだけど、青崎。
I don't understand a thing you're saying, Aozaki.
わからない？弾数はあと30発ってこと。
You don't? I'm telling you that I have 30 more shots in the tank.
そこまで逃げ切ればあなたの勝ちよ。とりあえず、今日のところはね。
If you can escape before I use them up, it's your win. For today, that is.
今日はって明日もあるのかな。
For today? I'm gonna have to do this tomorrow, too? Sojiro knit his brows. Aoko's expression creased into a scowl at his behavior. Although he was panicking, it seemed that deep down, he still did not feel the full weight of the crisis. She knew he still didn't get it.
宣言はしたわ。自由時間はこれでおしまい。
I said my piece. Free time is
ま
over.
だ罵り足りないだろうけど、その手の時間はキリがないしね。この辺りで諦めて。
I may still have some trash talk left in me, but, well, there's never enough time to get it all off my chest. Anyway, just give up already. It appeared Aoko had prepared this theatrical dialogue ahead of time. Not to allow her opponent time for futile peddling, but to give him the time to curse her, his killer. Such forthrightness was her modest operandi. With this victim, however, was not going as she had hoped.
とにかくそういうことだから。
Anyway, that's all I have to say.
じゃ、狩りの時間と行きましょうか。
Shall we begin the hunt? Her voice was void of emotion, and her eyes ruthless as they bored into her prey. This time, Sojiro finally accepted that he was going to die. Oh shit. Silent as the dead, it stepped into the remnants of a dream that had long since seen no visitors. There was no wind this night, nor a soul to be seen. Still, it heard the echoes from within, clasped its hands together, and grinned. Its form, with hands clasped, resembled that of a budding tulip. Hi, that one guy you know. Oh, it's that one guy. That's that one guy you know, right? That one guy. The bearing of this artificial flower reflected in the cloudy mirror of the ticket attendant's office next to the gate. Next to it stood a display board corroded by years upon years of rust. Number of visitors today. 2. Number of today. The board had graffiti crudely scrawled at the top of one of the words. It was replaced with deaths. The record board had long ago fallen into despair. I am that one guy you know. Him, yeah, that guy. After taking a full 10 seconds to digest what it was looking at, it made its own revision. Number of visitors today. 3. Number of deaths today. 1. After appending this number with an index finger, she smiled like a flower. Then she began to walk towards the source of the sound. It had been 10 minutes since this rhapsody had begun to echo from the House of Mirrors. The amusement park's entrance returned to as it was before, soulless. In the end, even if Sojiro had been the luckiest man alive, there was no way he should have been able to escape. The question, however, is how much of this was by design, and how much was sheer coincidence? Even Aoko, who had made all the arrangements, had no answer. Indeed, there were only 3 things she could say. It was taking longer than expected, he was putting up more resistance than she had anticipated, and that choosing the House of Mirrors had been a mistake. Her character model is so good. True! She had really screwed the pooch on this one. The location itself was an excellent choice, as the House of Mirrors was perfect as a hunting ground, but seeing her own incompetence reflected in the mirrors was beginning to grate on her. The moment Aoko's right arm began to glow, Sojiro made a beeline for the staircase in front of him. A strobing series of blue flashes lit the room behind him. The hunter calmly followed her prey, and the prey desperately ran for his life up the stairs. Just what the doctor ordered. Holy smug. Give me that screenshot. We can't very well let the best laid plans go to waste now, can we? In stark contrast to Sojiro's frenzied escape, Aoko walked briskly up the stairs. She elected not to run after her prey in order to maintain a set distance. As she lacked confidence in her accuracy, she would be most challenged if Sojiro bull-rushed her and went down fighting. But at a distance of 30 or so feet, he posed no threat. By the time her prey drew near, she could fire 10 shots and hit at least 4 of them. Their positioning was just a moment ago had been ideal. At this distance, in a space this open, there was a chance, however, small, that it could turn into a fist fight if he flanked and charged her. Currently, Aoko's best weapon was the bullets from her right arm. If she was going to capitalize on that advantage, it was in her best interest to not close the gap between them. If there was a good time to approach, it was only after her prey had become exhausted and had lost the will to continue. Would she pierce his leg? Shoot him in the back? Or perhaps he would just give up after losing himself in the labyrinth. The hunt would end when her target sustained some sort of injury and became unable to run. On Sojiro's end, he could barely bite back on screaming as he bolted through the maze. Even running in a straight line had become difficult, much less searching for an exit. Ow! The corridor stretched out far before him, and the mirrors blocking the path made it seem. Panicked, he made a turn to the right. That hurt. Clutching his head into his right arm. Sojiro led with his left, groping through the air to see whether a wall was there or not. He dove down the hall to the left, narrowly dodging the bullets targeting his life. Urged on by the sound of approaching footsteps, he ran without thinking. That one was close. A hair closer would have meant his life. He caught the odor of burnt hair from the back of his neck. He was very lucky. Or perhaps very unlucky. If he were actually lucky, he would not have been in this situation in the first place. The second floor of the House of Mirrors was structured like a giant spiral, It wound left, starting from the outside wall. Eventually, it would lead to a dead end. The more he tried to escape, the more concerned he would become, as though he were trapped in a twisted guillotine. His stifled screams threatened to leak out as complaints. No matter what he did, he was going to be killed. All of his struggling merely served to prolong the inevitable. Yet he ran. No matter how many mirrored walls he rammed himself into, he ran. Even after crashing so hard that his forehead bled and he saw stars, he ran. Pain shot through him at every turn. The more frantically he ran, the more intensely he smashed into the invisible walls. His body began to understand this rule and begged him not to run anymore. His breath was already ragged after sprinting a couple hundred feet. No matter how he thought about it, this was not normal. This was way too crazy. This was all just a bad joke. If he turned around now, she would apologize to him for taking it too far. His mind had gone blank. For taking it too far. His mind had gone blank. His body continued to slam into the mirrors again and again. His feet slowed as they began to believe that perhaps it really was all a joke. But then he felt a chill. A touch of death upon his neck. It would not be an exaggeration to say that Sojiro knew this kind of terrible chill far too well. Ever since he had arrived in the city, he had come face to face with more than one or two near-death experiences. For someone who did not understand city life, his present predicament was not unlike when he experienced the traffic on the streets or the commuter rush on the station platform. He was far from an innocent babe, unable to comprehend life or fear. Rather, everything he had ever known had become irrelevant when he was flung into a completely different cultural sphere. Even society's promises of safety, something urbanites took for granted, were threats unknown. So he was used to this already. Though if he were to be honest, he was dissatisfied with some things. Some things superfluous to necessity. This world was overflowing with valueless things, and they were all dangerous in some way. even if the everyday necessities sold at the convenience store were, as far as he was concerned, amazing tools. Civilization had raised the standard of living so high that it had numbered humanity's sense of danger. The city's constant pursuit of wealth and convenience was a poison to a country boy like Sojiro. And he did not have the capacity to accept these conveniences. That it was possible for such conveniences to easily and suddenly be misused and cause unintended accidents had always made him anxious. Why? He had to wonder why he was even here. How ironic. It took the real threat of death to make him finally realize, like a divine revelation, what he'd failed to understand until now. He'd always been... He always had to expect the unexpected. Near-death experiences were more common than one might think. To begin with, safety was something that came at a price. Being alive meant the opposite, was always lurking around the corner. It was just like a street light at night. When the sun rose, its illumination would naturally disappear. Oh my god, I'm getting tired. I think, okay, crazy spot to pause, but I think I'm gonna stop here, because I'm getting kind of tired, and I also am hungry. So we're gonna place a bookmark, funny enough, right here. And this will be done for today. Thank you, everybody who was watching today. Thank you for listening to me at the beginning of the stream, if you were here. We're moving. Not even 2 hours. Yeah, today was a day. These streams aren't usually long anyways. You know this by now at this point. And I think last time it wasn't 2 hours. I think last time was a little bit less. As well. I don't know. Let me check. Yeah, last week was short as well. Oh, buy that one guy. So yeah. Alright, bye-bye everybody. Oh, shit. Oh fuck. I'm being stupid. I will be streaming again tomorrow. We're gonna be doing Rhythm Doctor tomorrow. And yeah. So, thank you guys for sticking around. Try to stream when? Whenever I feel like it. Yeah, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for letting me read you your bedtime story. And now go to sleep. I'm not gonna go to sleep. But go to sleep. I don't care if it's 9 in the morning. Go to sleep. Alright, I'll see everybody tomorrow. We're gonna be doing Rhythm Doctor. And yeah. So, bye-bye!